Hello, test, 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 test. Hey, welcome to the second edition of Weekend Review. We're in a bit of a pickle right now. Kenneth is trying to repair my microphone. There appears to be some kind of damaged part of the USB insert thing that you put the USB thing into, and I think one of the prongs is damaged. And so, if
prongs. I thought they were called shrimp, dude. Prongs?
Kenneth is mistakenly thinks that I'm saying the word prawns.
Oh, wait, what did you say?
Which is a crustacean. No, I'm talking about the prongs. Okay, look. Long story short, we're trying to repair the thing right now. It's really pissing me off. This is a $150 microphone that I got from Best Buy. And everybody that I told that I bought a microphone from Best Buy made fun of me about it. But, I mean, it works, so...
Well, not currently. Maybe they have a point.
Well, it did work. It sounded awesome. You heard the last episode. It sounded great.
Appeal to the public. It did sound good, actually, yeah.
So, we're going to try to fix it, but if it doesn't work out, then I guess the rest of the episode will sound exactly like this, and all further episodes will sound like this until further notice.
I wish this thing had XLR input. Why? I guess just because it's made to be a computer mic. That's why it's USB.
It's made to be very simple.
That's too bad.
Plug and play. Do you think you can get it fixed or what?
I don't know. Again, I can't really tell if it's... Well, actually, it does appear that it's broken. Let me turn the microphone upside down and see if we can get this piece to fall out.
So let's go ahead and get out the plug for this microphone and hope we can score a sponsorship or something, and maybe they'll send us a replacement. This is a blue giant microphone, USB microphone, and it is silver. And so I'd like to officially endorse on behalf of myself and my co-host this product, and any representative of the company that's listening, if you want to go ahead and just send me a new one for free, because I don't have the money to buy one right now. So, in exchange for this glowing endorsement. The what?
The Shure USB.
Okay.
Cable. Whatever that may be.
He's going to try the other USB.
I just want to see what it feels like, what the fit is.
I don't know where.
Actually, it's probably...
That's the one we were just looking at.
Right.
Oh man, I wonder what this sounds like. Maybe this won't sound too bad. I'm gonna compress it real good.
It used to sound pretty good when you guys record.
Just from the computer mic?
Yeah, I was always impressed.
I've never done that.
No, back in high school, you guys all did that.
Oh, but that was a different computer. I don't know. The first MacBook I had a much better.
The white one.
Yeah, this is white too. I think. Oh, I guess this is silver.
It's a MacBook Pro, right?
Yeah, this is a MacBook Pro. I guess it doesn't have as good of a microphone.
That's crazy. This is the upper echelon of Macs. This is the better components.
I guess they put all their know-how into the development of the shitty software that's on it. Didn't pay much attention to the hardware, which is clearly inferior. It breaks when all you do is rip it out violently when you're drunk. All you have to do to break these things is just thrash it around, and I think that's bullshit. But I would like to announce my official endorsement.
Yes, this is a great product.
Yes.
If we could get more like them, preferably of the free variety. I believe this is a FR EE model. Looks like it's probably the higher end one.
Go ahead and send me and Kenneth a couple.
Yeah, you can send one each.
New versions, and if we could get an upgrade, that might even be better. Like maybe one that doesn't. I like this one, but it seems to break really easily. So if we get one that just wouldn't break and fucking just do its job.
XLR version and maybe one that's vintage that's not so shitty.
If we could if this company is even possible of understanding what it means to make a product that works, Anyway, okay, I'm sorry, I'm becoming enraged and kind of trailing off right here. I don't really know what Kenneth's doing right now. I guess he's back there looking for
just occupy the crowd, dude.
Flashlight. Well,
flashlight commercial for us.
I will never do a flashlight commercial.
This episode is brought to you by Fleshlight. America's #1 selling sex toy.
You're a big fan of Joe Rogan, right?
I'm a pretty big fan of Joe Rogan, but only sometimes. It's real hit or miss for me.
Let me close this window. I bet it's making a lot of noise.
There is a lot of noise from the window.
Well, Joe Rogan, I like his show, okay, but as soon as he started becoming sponsored by Fleshlight, and he would just do these
Dude, that's I told you, that was a long time ago.
At the 15 minutes at the top of it, yeah, we've never talked about it on the podcast. You see.
Yeah, but that's because I thought
trying to create a premise for.
Huh? I thought the issue was settled.
Well, I mean, we settled it personally, but now we're on the world stage.
The world stage.
This is a very exciting new medium. I don't have to tell you. I mean, podcasting is clearly the future.
Yeah.
Have you listened to Serial?
My girlfriend has.
I believe we talked about that last week.
Yeah, we did. I haven't listened to it yet, but I have downloaded it, and it is my intention to listen to it. I don't know. I listened to it peripherally, and I was like, I understand how this could be gripping, but god damn it, this sounds so depressing. Like, I enjoy the occasional This American Life episode that turns out to be sort of a heartstring puller. But I like This American Life because that's not every episode, and I think it can be a little draining.
Yeah.
She listened to all of them in one day.
Just the reality of it drains you. You like to escape to a world of fantasy.
Shut up.
Where racial prejudice is a thing of the past.
Shut up. How dare you? No, that's not my...
I know.
I think it's...
I'm fucking with you. I'm messing with you a little bit.
Dude, I told you not to do that. That was in my contract.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm just going to cry, I guess. I don't have much
legal... You going to cry?
I'm going to cry.
You going to cry?
Maybe. Wait, who's crying? Why are you crying?
Oh, baby gonna cry? What's the matter, little baby? Gonna cry?
This is a total role reversal. This is a mindfuck.
It's called...
You heard it here first. That's what it's called.
It's called a surrealist sketch a la Monty Python. Apparently you're not familiar with the work of Terry Gilliam and the boys.
Obviously I am. Obviously.
You're a big fan of the Holy Grail, right?
I've only actually ever seen that once, and it was with you. It was at your mom's house long ago. Good
segue. Kenneth, do you remember that the intro to our first album, the album of our first band, Serpico?
Yeah.
When we were 13 years old, was clipped from Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
I think that I knew that, but I didn't know it. You did it without consulting me. Not in a bad way, but I had no idea what it was when I first heard it. No, I think my parents told me what it was.
Yeah?
Yeah. Or maybe they didn't even know.
Were they were down with it?
Probably not. They weren't down with most things I did when we were in middle school, which is a funny thing to say because you're hardly a badass in middle school. Your voice is just barely starting to change. You probably
voice is dropping for the first time.
Yeah.
You sound like a total twat.
Like I remember when, for me, my sex drive turned on. It literally was like a black and white moment. Like it was one way, one day.
Yeah.
And then never again the same. Childhood. I left childhood in oblivion.
Who are you looking at?
I wasn't even looking at anyone. It was just all of a sudden I was aware of the fact that I could look at people. And I was like, oh my god. What in the world?
It shattered your fragile mind, huh?
No, it expanded it.
Yeah.
But I could never go back to the ignorance of it.
Sexual awakening is a weird thing.
It is a weird thing, especially for boys, I think.
I don't remember when it occurred to me. Do you remember doing any kind of strange experimental things when you were discovering your sexuality?
Not really anything strange, no. I'd say it was all pretty normal.
I put a thermometer in my ass one time.
That's dangerous.
When I was about 8 years old.
That's really young.
Yeah, I was really turned on by it. Huh?
You weren't going through sexual awakening at that point, were you?
I don't know.
You could have, I guess.
I'm not sure. I remember getting out of the pool and being like really horny or something, and then like having a scenario in my head that I made up where like it was like a female nurse taking my temperature, and I was naked and stuff. So
Is
whack,
it why
man.
you were swimming?
Well, after I got out of the pool, I was just like feeling good, I guess. What can I say?
Nothing.
I mean, I guess it was because I was sticking my dick in the suction kind of thing.
Wait, is this a bit? Has this transformed into a bit?
Hey, I mean, I'm celibate. Celibate, sell a lot. Just tell me how much it costs.
I don't know. I'm 8-bit, so...
8 bits to freedom, my friend.
Yeah, it's true.
And with that, I'd like to talk about Sublime.
The band?
Yeah, the band Sublime.
This will be a pretty short conversation.
I think it's over now.
Okay.
No.
I think that was perfect.
Sublime reunited with a guy named Rome.
Mm-hmm.
He is a singer. I don't know much about him. He's a Hispanic American gentleman from Southern California.
Did they reunite?
Smokes a lot of weed. Well, I mean, the original members plus this dude, Rome, and they sing his old songs and stuff. You know, I think Sublime's really good. I think Sublime is one of those bands that gets a bad... Please stop squeaking the fucking chair, man.
Dude, you gotta keep some oil around here, then.
I mean, what's that WD-40?
WD-40 actually strips and removes oil.
Isn't it?
It's a bad lubricant.
Well, what do you need oil for anyway?
Different applications, depends what the issue is.
Is this mic just fucked?
Yeah. At this point, honestly, there's nothing we could do. We don't have the tools or the expertise to even begin to address whatever's wrong with it. If we were really cool, we would strip the USB port out of something that was also the same USB, and then we would solder it in. That would be badass, but I have no idea how to do that, and I definitely don't have the tools for it.
Did you fuck it up more by...
No.
Let's see here. Maybe this...
It's missing a prong, and I think it might have short-circuited. When it was saying that message about how the USB device was pulling too much electricity. Basically, your computer's about to catch on fire.
If anybody knows anything about electronics that can help me out, I really wish people would reach out more to us on our new Tumblr page. I know that we just started, but come on. I employed... what's the word?
Implore?
I implored people to send us like questions and stuff, but nobody did. I wanted to answer some. No, I didn't get.
You didn't get anything?
No, I didn't get anything.
Oh, dude, I got like 50 messages.
From really?
Yeah, from the Tumblr thing.
From Weekend Review. Regarding Weekend Review.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we could read some of yours, man.
Yeah, of course.
Are you kidding right now?
No.
Wait, you are kidding?
No.
I can't tell. I wish this was a video podcast. You could see the face that Kenneth was making.
It's a bit contradictory.
He looks kind of mischievous, but also like a little,
A little knowing.
I was gonna say, a little whacked out on goofballs.
Whacked out on goofballs.
Kenneth had some goofballs earlier. I'd like to take a quick break and see what this sounds like, and
I think that's a good idea.
we'll be back in a second. Weekend Review.
Weekend Review. Ooh.
And we're back. We both prepared lists. I'd like to say that we're much more prepared than last week.
However, I still think, after listening to the first episode, I think twice, I think that was it was a good entrance, I feel like we made our mark. It's like
I'm really down with it.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's like the first time you go into prison, Like, not that I have this experience, but movies have informed me that you kind of have to walk in the place and be real big, and you have to, like, take someone down the first day.
Puff your chest out.
Yeah, like, we did that in a podcast form.
I think, we just blew off some of the steam, like, got some of the gunk out.
Yeah.
You gotta, when you're working, when you're working on a car and you got the turbolator.
Yeah,
on the inside of the engines, like on the side of the
right
engine
next to
block.
the encephaloplex.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you gotta like get it cranking because the turbine. What happens is the turbine gets like dehumidified.
Right.
So you gotta like run it back and do it 2 times. You gotta have to 2 times left, 2 times right. I think.
Right. Yeah. And then you have to like make sure everything is right, like the precipitate and the solute, and you have to make sure that everything's irreverent and it's like juxtaposed to the circumnavigators. Like if that doesn't happen,
the
car just won't go.
And you gotta check your cumber fluid levels too.
Oh my god, dude!
But
I have a story about that.
Let's not turn this into car talk.
Let's not, because. But seriously, I'll have to tell you the story about my cumber fluid this one time. It was
okay.
Unbelievable.
But all in all, you think the first episode was pretty good?
Yeah, I do. We had the flow.
I agree, man. What did anybody say to you about it?
I got quite a few responses. I know you didn't get any, but
yeah,
you gave me the admin privileges. Sorry about the squeaking. You gave me admin privileges on the Facebook page and the Tumblr, and so I was accessing that, and I just went ahead and forwarded like all the emails and the notifications and stuff to me.
Cool.
But I thought I created a rule in my inbox where anything that came from Facebook or Tumblr would automatically get forwarded to you.
Okay.
But now that I think about it, I was getting 2 notifications for every notification that was sent, so I probably accidentally just entered my own email address into that field by accident. So it was forwarding me the same email that I already received.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my god. Don't you know nothing?
No, I'm sorry I'm so dense, man. I just kind of... You said something about...
Inboxes.
Oh, you said Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. So I got a bunch of responses from Twitter.
Yeah. Do you have a Twitter?
I have a Twitter.
We talked about this last week too, didn't we?
We talked about it briefly.
We gotta keep an ongoing list. I'm gonna keep a notebook of all the stuff that we have talked about, and then never touch on those subjects again. Because
I think that's a waste of time.
I don't want us to turn into hacks,
You're not gonna reference that book though. It's not worth it.
Well, the notebook that I keep?
We would never go back to see if we already talked about something. Because how would we you'd have to guess what show it was on, and then you'd be like, I think it was on 15, maybe halfway through.
Here's what I do. Say all of a sudden I want to talk about bears.
Okay.
I would just I would alphabetize the entire thing and catalog it and keep like a Rolodex of all the stuff we've talked about, and then be like, every time I think about something to say, I'd be like, give me just 1 second, and then just like flip through the Rolodex, and then I'd be like, I guess we could talk about bears now, because we never talked about that before, and then we could edit out the flipping sounds, or we could add like a bunch of reverb and delay effects and make it like a really experimental, like
Pink Floyd album,
trippy show, like a Timothy Leary album.
Timothy Leary.
Yeah, all right. So what you got, man?
A few local tweets, from friends and stuff. A few tweets I was surprised to get from New Zealand.
New Zealand?
Yeah, apparently we have a few New Zealand listeners.
That is really surprising. It's not Flight of the Conchords, is it? I would lose my mind.
I don't think so. It's by Billy Bob Boy.
Billy Bob Boy?
Yeah, from New Zealand.
Okay. Oh, so this is... Okay, you're going to say one and then the next one. I thought you meant both of them sent the comment together.
Oh, no, this is his handle.
Okay.
He said, Jake, it sounds like you got a lot of knowledge about how to record stuff. Can you talk a little bit about your equipment?
Okay, my equipment setup. All right. Very interesting question. See, I have this fucking microphone that's called the Blue Yeti USB plug-and-play something or other, and it's like the best microphone ever. It works all the time. There's never any problems with it, and it makes my podcast sound so fucking good. Like, you gotta get it. Unfortunately, right now it's not really working, but that's not to say that it's not an amazing product. So, I mean, and again, if anybody's listening from the Blue Company, I would like to send me a replacement at no charge, because I feel those have been cheated. I mean, not cheated, because your product is great. Please send me a new microphone, and I hope that answers your question.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. This is another one. This is actually a more local one. This is from Austell, Georgia.
Okay.
It says
Austell, I think I know that guy.
Oh, yeah, that's the location.
Oh, all right. Okay.
His actual handle is Austellan Behave, something like that.
Austellan Behave?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. Probably inside joke. He just said, Jake, sounds like you're drinking beers. What you drinking? What you drinking on?
That's a great question as well. All right. Let's talk about beer for a while. Okay. Those are fake. Is it okay that I reveal that?
Well, there's no choice now.
Did I fuck up the bit?
No, it's all good.
I just want to keep an air of reality to this segment.
I got a call though, so hold on a sec. Okay, you take the reign.
Kenneth got a phone call. I'm going to take the reins real quick.
Kenneth got a phone call. I'm going to take the reins real quick.
And we're back. I decided to take a break. I tried to take the reins and failed miserably. I think this show is like a bicycle. We need both wheels to go.
That's true. It's a 2-part vehicle. And
Kenneth is obviously the front wheel.
50%. Man.
I was thinking the picture that I made. You see the picture that I made of for the
first episode.
Yeah, for the Tumblr and the first episode and stuff. I made a picture that was a picture of Kenneth with his tiny little dog in his backpack, and I put my own head on it. It was really funny. It was a huge hit. I believe it got 3 or 4 likes.
We hit a milestone in the Facebook, I guess the stratification of popularity that they have. Yeah. Like, oh, good job, you got 10 likes. Oh, good job, you got 50 likes. And that got 1,000 likes or something.
Funny you mentioned that. I gotta have that on my list, actually.
Do you?
You know, like when you see on Facebook, I'm not gonna be one of those guys that talks about Facebook, okay? And I'm also not gonna be one of those guys that talks about how they're not gonna be one of those guys that talks about Facebook, But I want to talk about Facebook, just real quickly. Why is it that some people on Facebook, you notice, some people will post a selfie that gets 50 to 100 likes, or it'll just be them with them just sitting, so good morning, and they get tons and tons of likes. Sometimes people get 150 likes. How does that happen? I've never had anywhere near that a number of likes. Honestly, they just have that many friends in real life.
Honestly, I think it's a somewhat objective measure of attractiveness.
You think so?
As a person, yeah, because I think the more attractive you are, male or female, the more you're going to elicit from your friends on Facebook the simple act of recognizing that you made a post, which is the basis of all replies, which is a like. It's oh yeah, I saw you. You look good.
Because people are very driven to aesthetics. People are very people are very visual.
They are visual.
It's just like how, presidents are always attractive.
Usually.
I mean, Jimmy Carter is like sexy man,
He's in good shape for how old he is.
Richard Nixon?
Not so attractive, actually.
I would suck his dick through his boxers until he screamed. And then
I don't know who that would be enjoyable for.
And I'd pull out that fucking long, sweaty... Anyway, this is off to good enough to into a weird place now.
Yeah.
Kenneth, you texted me, or we were talking about the first episode on Facebook, and you said, could you please, is it okay if you don't smoke while we do our podcast?
Yeah, cigarettes.
Because I'm sure you heard it last time. I was a little bit drunk and, and had been imbibing some weed for sure, and just chain smoking the entire time.
Yeah, you just smoke like half a pack.
Yeah, I smoked so much. You can hear it like throughout the whole thing. You go like, and
Jake,
like,
you can really hear it. Like I was so distracted. I was walking. I kept hearing the light flick, the lighter. It's like the. And I'd be like, God, I'm trying to listen to this story. It's compelling.
Yeah.
And Jake's just back there. He's like, yeah. It's just like really distracting.
So it was mainly the sounds.
No.
You found the smoke offensive too, right?
Well, for me personally, being in the room, yeah, but only because
Kenneth is not a smoker.
I'm not a smoker, and I feel like this day and age, with all our knowledge about cigarettes and everything, there's no real reason anyone should do it unless they're physically addicted.
Yeah, that's definitely, I fall under that category for sure.
And I feel for you with that, because I actually did smoke cigarettes for like 3 months. No, not even that long.
I was going to ask you.
I've smoked cigarettes before, but it was always hand rolled.
What was that like? Like what?
Dude, I totally understood why you guys did it for so long. I was like, oh man, this is the whole thing. The reason I got into it initially was because of a hookah experience.
Pad made a hook. Pad made a hook.
Exactly. That Lil Wayne song.
Shout out to Young Thug.
Yeah, shout out.
Go on.
Well, I just had never, when they present tobacco in the hookah pipe, it's like a very different presentation, and you don't really think of it as a cigarette, even though it's obviously the same thing. But Erica and I started dating in December of I want to say 2013, but no, it was 2012. And we went to this place, Cafe Istanbul, and we shared a hookah, and it was just like a really stimulating time because we were on a date and we weren't really together yet, but we were just the two of us, and we were smoking hookah and drinking alcoholic drinks and stuff. Yeah. It was very adult feeling.
Sounds very pleasant.
It was, yeah. And so that amplified that feeling with the tobacco, and I was like, wow, this is pretty awesome. And so for a bit, I did smoke cigarettes.
You do get a buzz from hookah that's unlike cigarettes.
Really?
It's not as much of a. I don't know. I guess I compare it in a very simple way. I compare it to beer drunk versus wine drunk. Like cigarettes versus hookah. I don't know.
A slight difference.
Yeah, the buzz, and you also, I don't know, the body high. You get a body high. That's mainly what it is.
It's weird though because it's so fleeting. It's so fleeting. It only lasts as long as you keep the draw.
But it tastes really good.
To me,
you can pretend like you're in an opium den.
I guess if you want to pretend that, you can.
Your fingernails are all long,
And you're Asian all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Those classic opium war pictures of the Chinese man just lounging with his huge pipe. It's just this is what I did yesterday, this is what I am doing today, and this is where you can find me tomorrow.
Why were their fingernails so long?
It was a refusal to cut, simply put.
Historians
have noted, specifically in the mid to late 1800s, that there was a general revolt against all types of hygiene, and fingernails were just one of the easiest things to let go first. Hair takes longer to grow, beards take longer to grow, but you could pretty much show your status as an outcast and as a junkie by the simple act of letting your fingernails grow. Man,
so they're like the first hippies.
They're the first hippies. Yeah, unfortunately their drug of choice was a bit debilitating. Unlike LSD or marijuana or anything like that, those things are, at least I guess you could walk around. Opium, I've never done that, but the pictures and the reports lead me to believe that you basically don't want to do anything at all.
I mean, I've never done opium or any opiates or anything, but everybody that I know that does pills or shoots heroin or something, they're the best people I've ever known,
They're very trustworthy.
Really trustworthy, super honest.
Yes, very much.
Just really salt of the earth, good people.
Usually I found that they're volunteers, which is, it's good for the community wherever they might be. You'll see them at the local soup kitchens. You'll see them at the shelters, changing out blankets. You'll see them at the volunteer ward at the hospital, taking care of minorly injured people and people who have head colds, chest colds.
They're usually so exhausted from all the community service they do that they'll just sometimes just like go to sleep,
fall asleep in a park. Yeah,
just like fall asleep in a public park. It's like really endearing.
It is. It's like, wow, there's a person who works so hard that they literally just couldn't make it home. Like, how often do we get to experience the tiredness that we've earned like that?
It's something. It's the nectar of the gods, my friend.
I think so.
But anyway, okay. Back to my original point. Like,
right.
Because I don't want to blow smoke in your face and stuff. And if you notice, so far you haven't heard me smoking during the podcast. I have something here that's going to help us both.
What is it, Jake?
Well, can you take a look at what it is?
I'm taking a look.
What's it look like to you?
Well, it just looks unremarkable. I mean, it looks like a child's lolly.
It looks like a lollipop, right?
Yeah, I would describe that as lollipop-like.
It is a pink lollipop. What if I were to tell you that this is no ordinary lollipop?
Well, I did notice that there's no brand name around the white stick. Which
yeah,
usually it'd say like Jolly Rancher or...
It's almost as if it was manufactured by someone in a basement using chemicals. A la Walter White.
Well, can we have a short disclaimer here, just to go ahead and acknowledge publicly that everything is comprised of chemicals, and so anyone who gets upset about certain types of chemicals should really check their privilege, because you're living in an age where, some chemicals have a bad name, but honestly, life is lived through chemistry, and there's not a substance on Earth, there's not a substance in your body that isn't comprised of molecules that make up chemicals. So I want to get that out of the way so we're clear.
Some chemicals save lives, and we're not here to besmirch the name of chemicals or anybody who studies chemistry. Yeah. I'm in fact here specifically to praise it, because what I hold aloft in my hand is Jesus.
Time to wake up, children.
It's 8:45 p.m.
If you guys wanted to know, it is 8:45 now, and Jake has been made aware of that by his phone.
Yeah, it's because I work at night, and I have to be at work at 10 p.m., but that's a story for another day.
You don't have to work tonight, do you?
No, I don't have to work tonight.
So
that's just, I guess I set it for every day by accident.
Is that what the industry would call a superfluous alarm?
I mean, I'm not in the industry.
I know you're not, but you read the magazines. I've seen it.
I'm not? Yes, I am. I was kidding. Of course I'm in the industry.
Dude.
Are you kidding me? I bust my ass.
I don't want to say anything, but
I'm in the service industry, man. I'm a G. I mean, I work at this crazy busy diner. I make so much money. Like, I fucking sling pancakes like your mama was making potatoes, man.
Dude, you know Guy Fieri. Don't even try.
How do you say his name?
Guy Fieri. You have to pretend that you don't see the letters that make up his name and just hear it when you watch the show. Because if you saw it, you'd be like, Ferrari?
I mean, it's very simple. It's just Fieri. Fieri. The R makes the T sound.
The R makes the T sound. Sounds like a great hardcore band name. The R makes the T sound.
That's like a mathcore, like screamo band?
Yeah, like probably it's a Christian band or something. Anyway, I don't think we've actually described what's going on here.
Okay. Well, that's what we call them. We're doing a tease. This is what Opie and Anthony does. This is what Howard Stern does. Because the audience right now is in rapt attention. They don't know what I'm talking about. We keep going off on these tangents.
And they're like, wait, did they forget? But no, we didn't forget. Not even close.
This is a very deliberate technique to keep people listening and to make our show the best on the block.
It's actually very skilled and very seldomly pulled off as well as you have just experienced it.
We're true masters of this form, even though we're new to it. I mean, I think like we can review. Oh, God.
Hey, no one saw that.
Okay, it's a weed lollipop. It's a lollipop with THC in it. And I dropped it on the floor just now, and that's why I stopped talking. But now I'm going to put it in my mouth.
Probably for the best, because it is apparently slippery.
But it tastes like a regular lollipop.
Oh, this is going to be a great podcast. It's definitely improved the quality so far.
I think it'll be really good for the show.
I think so.
Once it starts to kick in,
yeah.
I mean, anything can happen.
Well, also one of the complaints that I found from the Tumblr feedback was that people were saying that you were too articulate, and it sounded like you needed to put something in your mouth to kind of your words are very sharp and calculated, and they're like, can you dull that a little bit? Like, can you make that corner a little bit more rounded? And so I think this is perfect, because I wasn't going to say anything because it's kind of critical of you, but this lollipop I think is going to satisfy like, I don't know, 8 to 9% of the total feedback that we got.
You're telling me people wrote to you on Tumblr
Correct.
Saying that I needed to put something in my mouth, and you think that's okay?
Well, they didn't say that per se. but it was implied in such a genteel way. It was constructive feedback. I mean, it was obviously from a fan who cares about the show, who wants to hear it blossom into its best form possible. They want to have every episode be better than the episode that they heard last week, and they don't ever want to have to worry about, will this episode be as good as last week?
Consistent quality, that's what we're all about here.
No, we're not about consistent quality. We're about always ascending and going forward and going up, even if it's only a small amount. We're a hill that never falls. We're just always cresting.
I believe that's called a wave.
A wave.
A wave is a good. Do you want to hear an update on how I'm doing?
How are you doing, John?
I'm just sucking on this weed lollipop real quick, and surprisingly enough, I am really, really high.
Already?
So there you have it. Yes. Yeah. I'm noticeably more stoned.
Dude, it's only been like 45 seconds. I feel like I didn't start timing you, but
I don't know anything about chemistry, man. But
dude, I think that this is what is referred to as the placebo effect. This is
no. I can't.
It's not possible.
Anymore.
It's not possible.
How is it not possible?
Because
it's THC oil. It goes straight to your bloodstream.
It doesn't go straight. No way.
I think I'm high right now.
Because if that were true, so THC is fat soluble, so that means that your body will bind it to fat, and then when the fat's metabolized, I guess that's the release of the actual ingredient.
I am stoned as fuck, man. You and your mama.
All right, I think we should. We might need to resort to the list too.
I'm not talking about no list, man.
You free flowing now?
No, I'm just kidding. I was doing a character.
I don't like that character. He made me a little anxious.
Made you anxious?
I felt like he was going to destroy the quality of the show. I feel like we need to be very careful.
We
need to preserve the quality of the show.
I think
last episode, what was it called?
Last episode was called Bad Podcast Fodder.
And we need to endeavor to never... Yeah, but we need to never have bad podcast fodder.
I think what we had right there was golden.
I think it was golden, but I think we need to be careful because, fame is pitched at a nice edge.
Yeah.
And appreciation and quality, all of the greatest things that we strive for, those things are the things that are most easily toppled. Just look at Egypt, dude. Look at ancient Egypt. Or look at the Mayans and the Aztecs. Great civilizations easily toppled. The Sphinx easily toppled.
The Sphinx?
Leaning Tower of Pizza. Why do you think it's already leaning? Because it's easily toppled.
Why doesn't somebody just push that thing over?
It's just like the cousin that always did the same stupid shit, and then he started doing it because people expected it. It's like, oh yeah, it's leaning today. I guess we should fix that. And then 200 years go by. No, it's supposed to be like that.
It's just a result of some lazy asshole that refused to fix it.
Yeah, they make up all this shit.
They couldn't organize. They couldn't organize enough townspeople to push one end of it.
Right.
And because of the divisions between the religions,
right.
Protestantism or whatever, right?
Right.
Am I thinking of two different time periods? Or what?
I actually don't know when that building was constructed.
Wasn't it a gift from America?
That was the Statue of Liberty. That was a gift from France to America. To America.
And look at it now. You know?
Yeah, it's still there, man.
Oh, it's still there?
Wait, the Statue of Liberty?
I thought Godzilla destroyed it.
No, that was a movie, dude.
Oh, okay.
I told you it's really bad to watch futuristic. Yeah, you can't watch the news picture. Like you got the news and then you got some science fiction movie because then you're like, wait, which one's which? Wait, the aliens have arrived and I'm watching some boring movie over here. It's like a documentary. No, you got them switched.
I mean, if that's true, are you telling me Will Smith isn't actually the last person on Earth? Oh well, shit. I guess if I was watching it, then
yeah,
obviously he's
Dude,
not the last person.
You ever heard of a philosopher named Descartes?
Huh?
You ever heard of a philosopher named Descartes?
Descartes.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't the guy who said, "I think, therefore I am"?
Cogito ergo sum, actually, in the original Latin. But yeah, man, that was his whole point. He was watching that same Will Smith movie, and he was like, "Wow, I can't believe I'm getting this report that Will Smith is the last person on Earth." And then he was like, "Wait a second, cogito ergo sum, right?"
Yeah.
And then he was like, he refuted the movie. That's why that was his great contribution to Western philosophy, was that he actually refuted I Am Legend. And people didn't think that wasn't possible before 1794.
It was 200 years before the movie was even made.
Right, but it's just like Nostradamus. It's just like Nacho Khan. It's just like when Delphi Alfonso. It's just like all these people, just the luminaries of their time, you know.
Oh God, I love that band, you know.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
I'm in love with you. You're in love with me. Oh my sweet heart.
I think everyone knows that song. Come on, I got my first kiss on that song. Come on.
You got your first kiss to that?
I mean, I was young. It was good at the time. It was good enough. Come on.
Bro, you might not want to tell anybody that.
I thought I was just telling you.
Not anymore, man.
I know that.
Beaming this out to.
No, I know that's true, but I mean, you're the only one in the room who can make me feel embarrassed right now.
Did it work?
Well, yeah, I feel embarrassed. So yeah,
I feel embarrassed, man. We'll do stupid stuff sometimes.
Not me though, dude.
I got my dick caught in a zipper when I was on a date.
I've never done that.
Oh wait, that was a movie.
I'm like, there's something about Sarah, right?
It's called something about Mara.
Mara, like bone marrow.
Yeah.
Bone marrow transplant.
This is getting so silly.
Well, I have a list.
Okay, I want to see the list. We could do this forever, man.
Yeah, we could do this forever.
Just getting. We're trying to work it out, everybody. So should the show be silly or should we be more,
I don't know what we need to ask them because it doesn't matter. We're not gonna, if someone gave us feedback, I'm not going to be thinking about that when we're actually recording because that would just fuck up whatever we got because we'd be thinking, we have to be funny here. Oh, we have to be serious here. No, sorry, this isn't a democracy. You listen or you don't, and I think that
Amen to that, man.
Yeah.
Give you a standing ovation right now.
Thanks, dude. It's nothing better than having the same person who just insulted you applaud you to make you feel good. I feel neutral. Which is good.
It's called power dynamics.
Right.
Are you familiar with the 38 Shades of Dr. Gray, or what's that book called?
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah. That's the kind of what I'm running on you right now.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a form of seduction.
Oh, it's working.
Yeah.
I'm here. I biked all the way here, man. That's like 8 miles. So I was thinking, should I like read out all the things that I wrote down and then see which ones you want to talk about, or should I pick?
Just talk, man. Just like segue into it, and then
okay.
And then if it doesn't work, we can.
Well, I was curious. This is a natural segue, and it wasn't one I wrote down anyway. But it was just recently Thanksgiving. So did you do anything?
Hey, I was going to ask you the same. I had the same thing written on my list.
Everyone knows that's classic. You ask about things that are topical, and what's more topical than a national holiday?
I had a pretty good Thanksgiving.
That's great. I did too.
Yeah.
So
wait.
Oh, okay.
I went to my dad's house. I had some turkey.
Did you really?
Yeah. Went down with my dad here. Like my brother was in town. I got my bro.
Was he at your dad's house too?
Yeah. They came and picked me up. My brother has a huge truck. Huge fucking truck that he just bought. Ate some. Got really. Ate a lot of turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And then took a nap for a couple hours on the thing, and then I had to go to work.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was so lame. I had to go to work at 10 p.m.
That sucks, man. How was
I worked until 4.
Dang.
I made, I don't know how much money I made. It wasn't that much.
So there wasn't much turnout?
No.
But
last night was the slowest night I've ever worked, for sure. I only made $50 though.
What?
But it should be like twice that. It's not that, I worked like, 4 or 5 hours and made $50.
So $10 an hour, basically.
Yeah, but that fucking sucks. As a server, you should make like way more than that. You should make like at least $20 an hour if it's busy.
Yeah.
I sometimes make like close to $30 an hour. Anyway.
That kind of segues into another thing that I had written down. It was based on a conversation that we had when we first met up a couple weeks ago, when you were having that show at 529.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that I was talking about how I work, the 40-hour work week.
Yeah.
And I'm working from 8 to 4 every day. And I was like talking to you about how I can try to get you, not get you a job, but I was telling you that it was a cool place to work.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was really interesting that you said you didn't want a 40-hour work week.
Yeah. No, I don't. That's like, I just don't, If I can make enough money by working 3 days a week, then that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather not work most of the time so I can do open mics as much as I want. Because I've been doing all kinds of open mics around town. Catch me at Bone Lake Barbecue. Catch me at Speakeasy, at Vesuvius. Catch me at the Local on Tuesdays. Catch me at Mammal Gallery. You can catch me at the Laughing Skull Lounge. I killed there last week. I'm really killing in this comedy game. That's not funny, but I want to talk about how I really bombed so bad at that. Speaking of that 529 show.
Yeah.
It's working very well, man. I had written on my list about talking about the 529 show.
I snuck a glance at your list.
Man, so it's like So it's maybe intentional.
It could be intentional.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how the next topic unfolds.
You'll never tell, will you?
I won't tell.
Got that mischievous smirk.
Yeah.
Oh, we get palsy now.
Well, palsy here, Fred's there, but it's all good.
Shout out to Walter Jr. I really bombed. I was trying out some new stuff, some stuff about my job. See, it all connects.
Mm-hmm.
Told a joke about how, and this is a true story. One time, I was really busy and I had to make a milkshake. I had to go to the back and make a milkshake for this table. And while I was in the back making the milkshake, apparently, and the security guard relayed this to me. The girl sitting at the table was like, "I'm just gonna pull my tits out," and then she did, and she just like pulled her top down and she had her tits out, and her friends were laughing and stuff, and like, I brought her milkshake to her table and set it down in front of her. Didn't even notice that her breasts were out.
Yeah. And
then walked outside for a cigarette.
Just it was too routine of a thing, and you didn't even pay attention to the details.
Yeah. I was just kind of out of it because it was like really busy and shit.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the cigarette.
Was this like a young, attractive girl? Or was
Yeah, totally. It's somebody.
Weird.
It's somebody that who's, and of course, like, even if it wasn't, like, that's kind of an interesting, cool thing, right?
I don't know if it would be. It's interesting under all circumstances. However, if the person was like old and drunk and like kind of pitiful, that would not be cool. That'd be gross.
I don't remember what they looked like, but they were like our age,
so attractive.
Yeah, sure.
They had the youthfulness.
Yeah, totally. But anyway, like, yeah. So I told a joke about that, and
how did you make that funny?
That's the thing. I didn't figure out a way to make it funny. I was thinking that. Oh, how I made it funny was that I said, well, the biggest joke that the biggest laugh that I got during those 4 minutes was when I said I told that whole thing that I just told you, but kind of in a punchier way.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, I was gonna tell a joke about that, but I decided not to, and then everybody laughed.
Oh, okay.
I just thought of that.
So you told the story, and then you self-consciously said, "There's no ending. There's no the punchline."
Pretty much, yeah.
And then that was the funny part.
I guess.
Okay.
But then, but the funny part, the second part of it is that, like, I say, like, I felt like the lamest person in the entire world. Like, I've become a robot. Like, I can't believe I'm so into my job. I'm such a lame, like, dork. I didn't even notice naked breasts. I felt like the lamest person in the whole world until I went to the next table and asked the guy if he wanted a refill of his Diet Coke, which would have been his second. And he said, "No thanks. I don't want to be up all night."
Yeah, that puts things in perspective.
Yeah. And I was supposed to say, I was so nervous, man.
Uh-huh.
I get so nervous at 529. I don't know why.
And can I ask, because I watched you there and I saw Anne-Marie too, and it was really cool to see Anne-Marie because I've definitely never seen her up in front of the crowd. But I mean, I can fantasize about doing something like open mic night or something, but I would be horrified. Like the feelings I would feel before going on stage,
Really?
It'd be so hard not to blank. It'd be so hard.
I just keep a piece of paper. The paper is the only thing I need.
But like I'd be so. It'd be like that struggle between wanting to get it over with so you can get off stage so you stop feeling nervous, and then but also it's like supposed to be a stage art that you're supposed to like put yourself into, and like that's the funny part if you do it right. And it'd be so hard not to. It'd be hard to overcome that feeling of immense fear and judgment, I guess.
I just love performing. It's like really easy.
Yeah.
And like it's
You've been
something
doing it for a while.
It's something I've always enjoyed doing, and like I'd say the hardest part about doing stand up is like learning to kind of rush through your jokes. Like that whole joke I just told, it's not funny because it takes too long to explain. And a lot of my recent concepts, like there's a lot of things that I have to say to set up the idea of the joke.
Right.
And so I can't really use them like during open mics because I give 5 minutes.
So
5 minutes at the most.
I see. So someone like George Carlin, who has impressively long jokes, or that are really just social commentary with a lot of cussing. Like, do you think that he can do that on stage because he's a master now?
Anybody that's a comedian knows how to do 5 minutes because that's how everybody starts in comedy,
So George Carlin his material when he first started would be nothing like the stuff that I know well. Like his first jokes were probably like.
Well, I mean, he started at the beginning of comedy. I have no idea if they had like a comedy scene back then and stuff. He like started during like vaudeville and shit, or not? I don't know what's
vaudeville.
It's called vaudeville. He like on black and white TV, and he like wore a suit and stuff, and like made goofy faces.
Like Johnny Carson.
Like Jerry Lewis or some shit.
We're just naming old people now.
Yeah.
Jerry Lewis.
George Carlin is the man, though.
He is.
What were we talking about?
You
show
were
529?
Yeah. comedy in general. Which actually, another thing I wrote down was to talk about podcasts that we like, but that segues into the Joe Rogan show. Just recently had a show that was actually about comedy.
I'm gonna put this lollipop back in my mouth.
Okay. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
It wasn't really that good of an episode, or at least it wasn't as engaging to me. It wasn't a bad episode. I mean, I listened to the whole thing. It was like 3 hours long, but it was this guy from like some university. I don't remember which one, and he was basically a professor of comedy, or like he studied comedy in a scientific kind of perspective, and like doing tests and stuff to see what's funny, why things are funny, how funniness varies from culture to culture, and like he's trying to create like a system to rate humor and rate comedians. And it was weird because he would say like one of his theories, and it'd be like really abstract and like really well thought out and connected, but then Joe Rogan would raise like one small point, and then it would shatter the whole theory. Like one example was this guy was explaining one of his theories, and it seemed to basically describe, if you were to think about like a stand-up special in a intellectual way, he was sort of like breaking down elements to what made any given stand-up thing successful versus unsuccessful, and then he would break down the elements that made it succeed or fail. And then Joe Rogan was like, well, then how does this explain something like Mitch Hedberg or something?
Yeah, right. I've seen this.
You saw that guy?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, it was just recently released. Like, it was the second to last episode, so it was like released last week, probably.
He talks about how people can't be... say that again?
The whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing. Wait, start over.
I'm gonna have to do a paraphrasing.
Okay, this is Weekend Review.
This is Weekend Review.
All right. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was pretty good. My girlfriend and I didn't really do anything special. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day itself, we didn't do anything at all. Like, we did stuff, but we treated it like a Saturday rather than like a holiday. We didn't have a specific meal or anything like that. I think she actually ate cold breadsticks for dinner. And I was like, oh, I made some food. I'm happy to share it with you. And she was like, no, I think I'll just eat this. And not because my food didn't taste good, but I think I would have some. No, dude, my cooking is one of my greatest joys these days.
Doesn't mean you're good at it.
That's true.
Playing basketball is my greatest joy, but I suck at it.
Point well taken.
I'm no Michael Johnson.
No, definitely not.
What's the guy?
Michael Jordan.
Magic Jackson.
Magic Jackson. Close enough. Anyways.
His Jackson wasn't so magic after all, I guess.
I guess so. There were no protective powers to it, that's for sure.
Up top with that one. All right. I'd like to apologize for the insensitive jokes we just made.
We do make contributions every year. We take a third of what the podcast makes, and we do donate that to charity. Mm-hmm. However, this law and this rule for us was only recently instated as of a few seconds ago, and we haven't actually gotten to tax season yet or made any income. So though we have donated nothing,
it is a fraction. It is a fraction of what we have actually made.
And you need to think about that, because you think you listen to us, you funny ha ha kind of thing. You listen and you're like, these guys are great.
You think it's a joke.
You do think it's a joke, and that's the problem, because we're pretty serious here. I mean, yes, we have the facade of two guys who just like to get together and talk, but
you think this is like some kind of stoner, funny goof off hour, you know?
No, this is
two drunk idiots.
No, this is a business, and we treat it like a business. It's just a business of having fun, and we have a QuickBook account. You just invested in the Microsoft Office suite so we can get some tabulation done. I just bought a new calculator. I mean, this is serious. This is not a joke. This is not a hobby.
I think if you don't, it's like this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's like this, okay? We're entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
In the same sense.
Venture capitalists, really.
In the same sense that Daniel Plainview,
mm-hmm.
From There Will Be Blood,
right,
was an oil man.
Right.
We are podcast men.
Right.
And our business is podcasts.
Right.
And we're mining
mm-hmm.
the earth
yes.
for oil.
Right.
But our oil
of the brain
is podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oil of the podcast.
See what I mean?
Yeah. And what the French would call pot de la oil.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or pot de la oil.
Pot de castoire.
Yeah, pot de castoire.
Pot de castoire. Go ahead, man.
I just think I was going to reiterate the point just because I do think it's really important to take into consideration, because it's just, you know, you got to show respect. And we respect the fact that respect has to be shown, and so respect will be given. That's just the way it is. That's just plain cut, plain field, plain view, all of it. This view.
We can review.
It's back. It's here. I kind of wanted to turn the tables real quick to something a little bit more serious, because I've been thinking about whether or not we should talk about this on the podcast, because, I mean, it's relevant, but it's not something that I was, like, didn't have, like, a personal investment in, like, talking about with anyone else, maybe just thinking about it in my spare time.
Sorry, is my shooting really loud? You too loud?
No, but it's probably not going to be great, whatever your response may be.
It'll be done soon.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with this granola
Eating
bar.
eventually ends.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Not for me, man.
Well,
my life is a constant snack attack.
Let's just say that the doors aren't getting any wider.
Never leaving this place.
Yeah, for real. Because, not by choice.
Yeah.
But briefly, I wanted to touch on the Bill Cosby thing.
Okay.
Because it's big enough to where you can't really get away from it now. Like, they mention it. If you listen to news, if you listen to anything that has even a touch of popular culture influence in it, I feel like it's just inescapable. And I was like at Target and Walmart over the, I guess, Thanksgiving break time, and Bill Cosby's like all over the newspapers and stuff, and he looks awful. So at first when I guess I'll give my impression first while you finish, but
go ahead.
Like, when I initially heard about it, I kind of just believed it was true, just because by virtue of the fact, I guess, that it was being so loudly pronounced, and there were so many people who were involved, that to me, I feel like when something reaches sort of a terminal point like that, where no one's worried anymore about, like, letting the cat out of the bag, they're all just kind of discussing it. I mean, this is like the destruction of a man publicly, his reputation, and it's not even so much that his it's the special part is that his reputation has always been to be so clean. And
he's like a national treasure, Bill Cosby.
Yeah. And today I heard on the news that he actually, like, stepped down from the board of committee for whatever university he graduated from or something.
Yeah.
To distance himself. But I was thinking, because like I said, I heard about it everywhere, so I was like, there's got to be a morsel of truth to this, even if it's being somewhat blown out of proportion. But I kind of did a little bit more research and actually watched some clips of The View.
Yeah.
And which I thought was a pretty good source, because it's interesting. It's one thing to have common people talk about stuff that's going on with famous people, but it's another thing entirely to have famous people who know what that lifestyle is like talking about another famous person, and you kind of get the perspective of, like, they know what it would be like to be in the news for something bad because they know what it's like to be in the news, period.
Yeah.
And, like, Whoopi
Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg was there, and so was
Whoopi Bobo.
what is what's her name?
Barbara Walters.
No, it wasn't Barbara Walters.
Sherry Shepherd.
No, who's the Rosie O'Donnell?
Rosie O'Donnell.
She was on there as well. And
this was a long. She hasn't been on the show in a while.
She might have been a guest or something. She was there.
I don't know, man. There's some bad blood between her and the producers, I believe.
Well, maybe there's new producers, because Whoopi Goldberg is the only original person, as far as I'm aware.
She wasn't the original person.
But no, like, when I say original, I mean, like, the people who were the real originals aren't there anymore, and Whoopi Goldberg, as a new person with the originals, is the only one of the originals that's still on the panel that sits there.
What I'm telling you is, I think Joy Behar was also there the whole time.
I don't know who Joy Behar is.
She's the funny lady that has, like, red hair. It's like super cool.
There was no one with red hair in this.
Oh, maybe she's not on the show anymore.
There was a dark-haired lady, and there was a blonde, and then there was Rosie O'Donnell, and there was Whoopi.
Fucking View.
Anyway, my whole point was that Whoopi Goldberg was saying that she has had experiences in the past when she was in the newspaper, and apparently she got arrested for some kind of felony, and so did Rosie O'Donnell mention that. Who's that woman from Wait, Don't Tell Me? I always forget her name.
Mo Rocca.
That's not her.
Bazinga.
Paula Poundstone.
Yeah.
She apparently was arrested as well and charged with a felony of, like, child endangerment or something like that. Something, like, very kind of sketchy that would probably be a career ender for anyone in a position that's not publicly renowned. Like, I think celebrities.
Yeah, I've heard about that. She had some controversy.
Yeah, and it was kind of bizarre, but Rosie O'Donnell and Whoopi Goldberg were very skeptical, and I admired their skepticism, because I had just kind of believed it. And I was like, yeah, that's really unfortunate.
They were skeptical about whether or not
were
false
the
allegations.
Right, because apparently, obviously, this isn't the first time Bill Cosby's been accused of this. I guess that was Hannibal Buress's point. Just
yeah, exactly. No, that's why it came to light. Is because
Right.
like that stuff was already public knowledge, just that nobody talked about.
like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
And like
and so as soon as he mentioned that, it created like I guess it did start from him. Isn't that crazy?
it did start from him. It's like that's the point where the earthquake erupted, definitely, because he anytime any reporter would mention the story, they'd be like, now made famous allegations by comedian Hannibal Buress have come to light. And it's
and he just said it like at a club, like it wasn't even recording it or anything.
He was saying
just, like,
he said that
quoted.
he had been saying that joke for 3 months before anything like blew up. So I guess the wrong person or the right person heard it at the right or wrong time and just like I don't know, did their homework, and I don't know what happened.
The internet is a crazy thing.
It is a crazy thing, but it's also there's this Associated Press interview of Bill Cosby that I would recommend everyone who's interested in this story watch. It's very bizarre, and I first heard about it on the Joe Rogan show. But basically, there was this interview with Bill Cosby and his wife, she's like bald. It's a very weird look. Like Bill Cosby's bald and his wife is bald. It's like if you were to see them,
cute.
It's kind of cute, but then it's like it makes you kind of think, man, is everyone bald? Anyway, maybe that's just me. So,
but maybe that's just me.
Maybe that's just me. But it was just very bizarre because he was the interviewer was like, he's like, sorry, I have to mention this. My producer asked me to, but there are allegations that have resurfaced recently. And Bill Cosby just like immediately just cut off, like guillotined him. He was like, we're not going to talk about that.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's because he reached settlements with the people that accused him of rape.
Right.
And part of the settlement was that he could not talk about it publicly. Mm. So he cannot legally talk about any of those allegations.
I haven't heard that point.
Yeah. Isn't that's why he hasn't commented on it and stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, also, I think his like he posted something on his website. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Hey, maybe we can pull it up. Give us 1 second. 2 weeks with unsubstantiated, fantastical stories about things they say occurred 30, 40, or even 50 years ago have escalated far past the point of absurdity. These brand new claims about alleged decades-old events are becoming increasingly ridiculous, and it is completely illogical that so many people would have said nothing, done nothing, and made no reports to law enforcement or assorted civil claims if they thought they had been assaulted over a span of so many years.
Lawsuits are filed against people in the public eye every day. There has never been a shortage of lawyers willing to represent people with claims against rich, powerful men, so it makes no sense that...
People can read this online.
Yeah, that's true. I was just trying to see what the lawyer said, because I think a little bit more perspective on the incident would be good for me, just in terms of my understanding of what's happened and what's not. He's
like just basically denying everything and saying like, blah, 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 it's long past time for this media vilification of Mr. Cosby to stop. It's an unprecedented example of the media's breakneck rush to run stories without any corroboration or adherence to traditional journalistic standards.
Is that true, I wonder?
Huh?
I wonder if that's true. I guess they are just reporting about it without...
No, yeah, of course. People will pick up on any buzz story and just like anything that gets a lot of clicks and stuff. People's lives are destroyed because of it. But I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk in defense of somebody who might be a rapist. I don't know what to say about that. That shit ain't cool, man.
Right.
And I think like anybody that's saying like, did you hear about how Shia LaBeouf was raped during his MoMA thing? He did this performance art piece where he was in a glass room.
How old was he?
How old is he now?
No, how old was he when this happened?
This happened like last year.
What?
I don't know. Yeah, he did. He did like performance art piece where he's at the Museum of Modern Art and he like was in a glass room with a bag on his head, paper bag on his head that said "I am not famous anymore," and people were invited to come in and like talk to him or do. They said do whatever they wanted, and like some woman came in and like he says raped him.
What?
In front of the whole line of people and stuff. And it's a glass box and like. But part of the performance was that he can't say anything or do anything,
It sounds like a publicity piece to me. That doesn't sound real.
See, that's fucked up, man. I mean, if he actually got raped, then what is with all these people like trying to justify that or trying to say like he's lying or like if he's saying he got raped, then like why is it so easy to say that a man is lying when they say they got raped?
I don't think that's because he's a man. I think I mean, if you were in that kind of situation, you would fight like hell just as a natural instinct. Even if you were a committed artist, I think that there's a point, and that's why torture works when you're like in a war situation.
But
it's
I'm,
like there's
I'm a
breaking
different person.
point. No, you can't know what kind of person you are in that situation until you're in that situation. I feel like your fight or flight mentality that you would get into would be so strong and so deep, you wouldn't have a choice to act the way you did. Like if you,
you're kind of like saying that people who are raped are like cowardly or something.
No,
because they didn't fight back.
No, I'm not saying that at all. Not at all. Not even a single bit. What I'm saying is that if Shia LaBeouf was really raped in public, then I don't like. Rape is an act that occurs without consent and without willingness, and part of that is struggle. I mean, the opposite of consent is struggle and like resistance. And if you're being raped, you're resisting a lot. And even if you were, like I said,
you're saying he was complicitly accepting getting raped because
no, I'm saying struggle? I think unless he is some extreme psychopath who is able to completely deny the most basic, like literally the most basic of human instincts, which is like fear of bodily harm and death. Like, unless he's able to do that, which I don't think anyone really is when it comes down to it, like if you're being violated, then I think it has to be some sort of a stunt because he wants attention for some reason.
Will they come to a conclusion about Shia LaBeouf and whether or not he was raped or whether or not he was not raped? And will they get the microphone fixed? Find out next week on Weekend Review. Thank you very much.
Weekend Review. Seemed pretty on point.